this is Amy. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I paint a 6-petal flower on this glass jar. So I am still recycling glass pickle jars, and I've already cleaned it off. If you're doing painting on glass, make sure you wash it with soap and water, and then go over the exterior with rubbing alcohol just to make sure that your design adheres nicely to your glass jar or bottle glasses, whatever it is you're painting. Alright, today I'm going to be using 3 Magic flat brushes. I have a number 2, a number 8, and a number 10. These are long handled and they are again flat brushes. Using a number 8 Deerfoot Stippler and then a dotting stylus. Paint I'm using today is Cinnamon. All these are FolkArt paints. Moon Yellow, Thicket, Berry Wine, and keeps falling over, Wicker White, Perfect Purple, Real Brown, and Magenta. Now this is a combination of they're all FolkArt, but of enamels and multi-surface paints. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start by making I'm going to do a single flower and some leaves. I'm going to be using the number 10. I am going to be using, let me see if I can get some of this in here today, using the Wicker White, tapping my side into the Berry Wine. I'm going to do some blending strokes. And I'm also going to be doing some of the magenta in with this. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with it. I am basically going to be kind of like drawing in my petals with my brush because I want them to be a certain shape, and then I'm just going to come back over them and pick up the paint colors as I'm going here and fill it in. And so it's not really a one-stroke paint design. It's kind of just a mixture of 3 different colors of paint. Some parts I will be double loading my brush and putting it, just trying to get some of that berry wine on here. And again, I just keep working it out till I get the petal shading the way I want it for the flower. And I do put a little bit of the magenta in here too, just to add some variance to it. And the thicker I apply this, the more durable the paint will be. So that's good when you're painting like this. I just want to make it a little bit darker over here. I'm just doing some nice little pulls, just trying to blend it in a little bit. But not too blended. I don't want it to be where it's all one color. You just have to be careful when you're doing your blending so that you don't make it all overwork it, I guess is what you would say. Make it all one shade. That's definitely not what I want to do. Alright. I'm going to turn it and come in here with another little petal. They don't all have to be the same size either. Just so that you know that. Some of them can be like they're coming out from behind and you're only seeing part of it. And painting this way will take maybe a little bit longer because of trying to get the blending the way you want it. So keep that in mind, just be patient. just keep working it till you get it. And I do want to bring it towards the center. Now I'm just doing light strokes over the top of it. Just very light. Alright, turn it, do basically the same thing, and I can overlap it a little bit, but I'm going to do basically the same petal shape. Now if you want to be concerned with the way the light is hitting and do your colors based on the light source, you're welcome to do that. I'm not really going to be too concerned with that at this point. I'm just doing the shading just to distinguish between the different petals. But you're more than welcome to do that yourself. You want to figure out which direction your light source is coming from. Okay. Alright, I'm going to turn it again to concentrate a little bit when I'm doing this. I'm going to come out like that and then come back again. Like that. And I'm still pulling it towards the center. I'm going to leave a little bit of an opening because I am going to tap in my center. And again, I'm just doing light taps. I'm not doing a lot of pressure, just a lot of light strokes over the top. Like this way. So I'm going to make sure I get my 6 petals. It can be 5 petals, it doesn't have to be 6. But I want to make sure I am trying to get 6 in here. It's just very relaxing. When you're sitting here doing these strokes, it's definitely very, very relaxing. And I think it's nice when you pick up a hobby, something that can give your mind, sorry, my air conditioner's kicking on, something that can give your mind just a way to relax, get out of the normal everyday hustle and bustle, give your mind something to really just kind of rest in and shut down a little bit from the everyday normal craziness that's going on, especially right now in the world, or at least in our world. I'm doing such a nice thick coat here that should be really, really durable once I bake it. Now keep in mind too, with this paint you don't have to bake it. It can actually cure within 21 days just by air drying. Now that doesn't mean you can't use an item, because it'll dry to touch quicker than that. It's just meaning that it will not be completely, I don't want to say dry, but really it won't be. You really shouldn't put it in the dishwasher, that type of thing, before it's actually fully cured. If you can bake it, that's the best thing to do with it. Reason being, that actually can make your paint more durable. At least that's my understanding. Yeah, you do, but when you're doing a jar, if you're doing something that's not going to be picked up and used all the time, it's going to be more for sitting home decor piece, or sitting and holding something, that type of thing. Or like when I do my lighted bottles, those are pieces that are more home decor-ish. They're not going to be picked up and handled and washed frequently. Then you don't have to worry about it as much. But if you put like a nice thick coat of paint on like what I'm doing, it's going to be awesome. It really will. Alright, so what I'm going to do next, now that I got the petals painted in, I'm going to take my Deerfoot, the front part of it, which is this part right here, I'm going to dip into the cinnamon. The back part I'm going to dip into the real brown, and as I always say, I tap it to get some of the excess paint off. And then I'm going to go ahead and pounce in the center. Now, when you're doing this, if you want, because this is wet on wet, if you want to give your piece some drying time before doing this, feel free to do so. You can also hit it with a hair dryer, heat gun, something of the sort, so that you can get it to dry quicker. Again, that's up to you, however you want to deal with it. And I'm going to put a little bit of yellow right here. Stamp some of the cinnamon back in here, put a little bit more of the real brown, and get it kind of like that. Alright, for right now. Then I'm going to take my, actually I'm going to do the smaller side of it, my dotting stylus. I'm going to dip it into the moon yellow, and I'm going to start doing just some random dots. And they're going to kind of be all over. Now, as you can see, they're not going to show up quite as well in the top part because I have the moon yellow painted in there, but it'll show. Because on my next part, I'm going to actually tap in another color, and I have decided to go with the Magenta to be kind of a contrasting color, which will then help this stand out a little bit more. Make it very pretty. You don't have to stick with one color when you're dotting. You can add, 2 or 3 colors. It's really just up to you how fancy you want it to be, how much you want it to stand out. And there you have it. So it's very simple, as you can see. It's called A Center That Speaks to Me. Let's see. Alright, got the gist of that, I'm sure. So the next thing I'm going to do is put in my greenery. Now I'm going to double load, and I do dip one side into my Thicket, one side into my moon yellow, and then I'm going to hit the back side with the Thicket into the brown, the real brown, because I want to make it more of an olivey color. And the browns with the greens will do that. Alright, so once I've done that, I'm going to come out here and I'm going to do my wiggle leaves. If you feel like you need to go over it again, feel free to do so, because you want to make them as durable as the flower if you can. I just slipped up my paper. Okay, sometimes you have to maybe just do some tapping in so that you're not pulling the paint up or you're getting a thicker coverage. Okay, now I'm going to try to flatten it down a little bit and then come through here and pull it through. Then I'm going to do another one. Sorry about that. Come in here and do another one. Pull it down. Like that. And then I can pretend it's coming this way, coming down like that. Alright. And then I'm going to come over here, do a couple more over this way. And I'm going to do it to where I have the lighter on one side. I'll go over that again. Again, you just work it to where you feel like you've gotten good coverage and you've gotten your leaf to look like how you want it. And then you can pull a little stem through it, or like with that kind, it kind of gives you a stem automatically. So, thank you. My furnace just shut off, or my, not furnace, but my air conditioning just shut off. And do it up here again, kind of get into the ridges a little bit so I can tap it. I just want to make sure it's got good coverage. That's the main thing here. I'll go over this one a little bit. Always when I do this, get my brush so full of paint that be easier on paper than it is to do it on glass. But just keep in mind it's just glass and you can wipe it off. Pretty darn easy. Alright, so one thing you can do if you want to hit this with, I'm not sure if I will or not, but anyhow, I'm going to put a little purple into some of these leaves. I might just put a purple and yellow here just to get some in here. And it's just to give it a little bit of, let's say interest, but just a little bit of color. I'm not putting it all throughout the leaves. This might be in little spots. Like that. Just adding it in there. I do the same thing over here. Again, just putting a little bit of the purple in. I'm going to put a little bit of yellow on here since I have yellow more towards the center. And I can even do it like in other spots where, like say, I'm not even doing it all the way up the top. I'm just going to do it part. It doesn't have to be all in the same spot. You get what I'm saying here. And just kind of run it down there a little bit. Or you can leave it out. If you don't like this part, you can leave it out. You don't have to put the purple in here. Alright, so it just has a faint bit of purple. Doesn't have to have a lot. Have a little bit or a lot. Actually, on this side I probably should put, well, it's down here though, right? Yeah, I will put a little bit more up in here. Just kind of touch it along the side. And down. And just clean it up a little bit. It just gives it a little bit of a tinge. It doesn't have to be, like I said, real noticeable. Alright, and then I'm going to do my littler brush, the number 2, put some of that purple and my Thicket together. And then I'm just going to do some little leaves. Don't have a whole lot of room, so I'm just going to do some little leaves with the purple in it. And I might have to come back and go over these a little bit, just for the fact that I want them to have good coverage. And I don't feel like, the way I'm seeing them right now, that they have really good coverage. I got that one. I got to clean that one off a little bit. And you can just do some little, quick little pulls. Do this one. Let me fix that up a little bit. And do a little pull through there. Now up one a little bit. Alright, and then might even want to add a little bit of white into this, and the reason being is that I feel like they're too opaque. And I like them, but I feel like they're just way too opaque. Let's go over here and see what I can get. That's actually probably more what I wanted anyways. See how pretty that is? Like I said, when you do these, your leaves do not all have to be the same color. I'm just doing some quick little pulls. Thing of it is, with these little stems, they're not very thick, so you might want to just come back and go over them a little bit too, just to make sure they thicken up a little bit. I am going to go ahead and go over these a little bit too, because I really want them to be more opaque. When you put the white in there, that definitely helps. Now I'm going to go back to do my stems again. And then I want to just do some pulls, kind of like I did on the other ones, just pull them out a little bit. Go over it if you want. And just work it. And you can put it in there however much you want, or if you just want to do them like regular, that's fine too. But I'm going to leave it at this. I think it's fine just the way I have it. If you like this video, please make sure you give me a big thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. When you're done viewing the video, please share this on your social network with all your family and friends. There's a share button that you'll find underneath the video, and once you hit that, it will pull up all your social network options, and feel free to share it there. Alright, thanks again for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this repurposing a jar video, and until the next time, please stay safe and healthy and have a good day.